Welcome to the RAMcast, where we talk about all things related to Sioux Valley. This is your host, Brian Kirby, and my co-host, Jimmy Sickler.
Happy to be here, Mr. Kirby.
All right, and today we have our another edition of our special teacher spotlights, and today we have none other than Miss Franny Christensen.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And so without further ado, let's get the show rolling. All right. Hello. Welcome back, Miss Christensen. Why don't you start off by telling us the name of your high school, the town and state it was in, and what the mascot was?
All right. I graduated from Highland Park Senior High School in St. Paul, Minnesota, and our mascot was the Scots.
Oh, I guess I don't know. What's a Scot? You have to fill me in.
They were previously the Scotsmen.
Oh,
So
okay.
a man in a kilt basically was our
Yeah, like the
mascot.
Scottish. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And then
Awesome.
they changed the name to the Scots.
Okay, cool. I like it.
All right. What song, band, TV show, or movie have you been listening to or watching for fun?
Oh my goodness. Lately I've been binge watching the Big Bang Theory.
Hey,
Classic.
all
It's a
right.
good one. I like it.
Yeah.
Awesome. I like that. I like that one series. All right. So which teacher had the most impact on you, and what do you remember about them?
I would definitely have to say the teacher that had the most impact on me was my 9th grade social studies teacher, Mr. Stuckey. And this was in a different high school in Madison, Wisconsin, where I went to for 9th grade.
Mhm.
And his class motto was "Don't grunt, elucidate." And he wanted everyone to share their ideas, expound upon them. And it was one of those classes where everybody was constantly raising their hand, like competing to be called on to share their ideas.
Wow, very
Interesting.
cool. I might need to look that word up after we
Yeah,
are done here.
elucidate just means to expand upon, just describe your thought and expand upon it. So
Gotcha. Elucidate. All right.
elucidate, don't grunt, elucidate. And it's always stuck with me.
It's gonna be on
All right.
Jimmy's board tomorrow.
What was your favorite extracurricular activity?
I played a lot of different sports in grade school and middle school, and volleyball was definitely my favorite. I played that the most number of years. It was the one I was the best at, and it was just the most fun. I just liked it because it was really collaborative. You have to work together and communicate well with your teammates to get the ball over the net.
I'm sorry, Jimmy, but I think women's volleyball or volleyball in general is probably one of my top 2 sports for women's right now. But just letting you know,
Yep, I figured.
softball's right there, the other one, in case you're wondering. All right, so what does Miss Christensen do for fun when she's not at school, outside of school?
Well, basically anything outdoors. I just love being outside in the Alaska wilderness. So in summer, my favorite way to have fun is pack rafting. And in the winter, I love downhill skiing and snow machining.
Fun.
Nice.
I enjoy.
I just bought a new snow machine. So I'm really hoping we get some good snow here soon.
Congratulations on that purchase.
Thanks.
It's awesome.
When you were in school, what class did you find the most enjoyable?
You know, I feel really lucky. I had so many great classes in high school, but one of them that definitely stands out was my 12th grade humanities class. And it combines so many topics from sociology to music appreciation. And we started every class by listening to a piece of classical music. But on Fridays, students could bring in their own music to play. And I'll never forget the day when the student brought in some Iron Maiden to have us start off class.
Yes.
I approve.
Yep, Mr. Kirby's definitely, that's his wheelhouse.
I approve of that one. Wow, that's the second person that's talked about humanities being one of their favorite classes. Interesting.
That's a good one, yeah.
All right. So with whom did you have your most meaningful relationship during your years as a student? And it doesn't have to be a teacher. It could be a janitor, anybody else in the building.
Well, outside of school, it was definitely my grandmother who I was very close to. But in school, it was my ninth grade Spanish teacher. She really took me under her wing. I had some challenges in my home life, and I loved Spanish, but also she organized this amazing trip for me the summer after my ninth grade year to go spend 5 weeks in Spain living with
Mm,
family. And it wasn't part of any particular program. She organized the whole thing, talked my dad into agreeing to it, and it was just such a life-changing experience. Um, so yeah, she was just a very open-minded, interesting person, always encouraging students to demonstrate their creativity in all different ways and not just in Spanish.
that sounds
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah. Did that have any impact on you becoming a Spanish teacher, since you are our Spanish teacher here?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I learned more Spanish from her in 1 year than I did all the rest of high school or honestly even in college. So
Nice.
definitely learned a
That-
lot for sure.
Cool.
Big influence. Yeah.
All right. What is something you have learned about yourself since you started working with kids as a teacher?
Definitely to be flexible. Being flexible is just so important because things are constantly changing all the time. Teaching is such a dynamic profession. Schools are such dynamic environments. And so being able to be flexible and adapt to changes at a moment's notice is so important.
Agreed heavily. All right. Knowing what you know now, what advice would you give your younger self, either entering high school for the first time or leaving high school for your post secondary training?
I think for me, when I was in high school, I just really didn't know all of the cool jobs that are out there. And I was particularly interested in biology. My undergraduate degree is in biology. And I really didn't know all the cool jobs that you can do that are related to biology. And so later on in college, I learned about informational interviews, but
Mm,
I wish I'd known about that in high school. I encourage students to do informational interviews, just find people with cool jobs and ask them what their trajectory to getting that job was. The other thing, exploring jobs in the trades. Another thing I didn't know until later was how you can really start with an apprenticeship with a union and work your way into a really great profession that way as well. And that doesn't require um, going to college for that.
yeah. Yeah. Or lots of money, big debts. So I I,
Right.
I,
Yeah.
I like
Hmm.
I like pushing into the trades. I think it's a good option for a
Yeah.
lot of
There's
kids.
so many good options.
All right. What is one of the most memorable moments you've had with your students?
Uh, Oh, that was a really tough one. That's such a tough one. I might have to go back to when I was teaching in my previous job and I was working with kindergartners and just one particular student who just was so excited to come read stories with me. And she was just such a sweetheart. And when I was leaving my old job, she just gave me this shell in a bag that she'd written my name on, and I just love keeping that and remembering it.
Wow. It's cool.
But here at Sioux Valley, I just love watching kids do some of the projects that we do in physical science class. And last year, we did Rube Goldberg projects,
Mm,
and there were just some really amazing projects that kids came up with that had all sorts of interesting designs. So I just love watching the creativity that comes out in the projects that we do.
yes. Yep. Yeah, there's definitely. I remember those Rube Goldbergs. There was some cool stuff going on in there for sure. So, kind of along the same path, then, what's one of the most embarrassing things that's ever happened to you in front of students?
Oh, I feel like I am the typo queen. I'm always, preparing things pretty quickly. Um, as all the teachers here at Sioux Valley, we're all teaching multiple topics and switching from one to the next really quickly. And I have had some doozies of typos accidentally in class. So
Yeah.
I've started giving kids prizes when they can find my mistakes. And sometimes the typos are a little bit more embarrassing than others.
Got it. Yeah. Awesome. Good. Hopefully you guys all, when they're pointed out, hopefully everybody kind of gets a good chuckle out of it and whatnot.
Oh yeah, they
so.
love teasing me about my I'm not actually a bad speller, but I just look like one sometimes because I'm going too quickly.
All right. So, assuming we don't have a lot of more snow days, May 23rd is our last day of school. What's your plans after that?
Just getting outside as much as possible. My favorite thing to do in the summer is pack rafting. Yeah, just getting out there and pack rafting. I'm hoping to do, there's a trip where you climb up or get flown into the Aniakchak crater and then raft out from that. So
Wow.
that's the big trip I'm hoping to be able to do this summer. We'll see if I can get it together.
That sounds awesome. Hopefully it does. I'd love to hear about that one. One last question we got for you is, do you have anything else you'd like to add that we didn't talk about?
Oh man, wow. It's just been so fun getting to know all the students and families here at Sioux Valley. And one of the things I have been having so much fun with is discovering all of the amazing student chefs that we have here at school. We've had some amazing potlucks, particularly in Spanish class, where kids have really showed up with some fantastic food. So
awesome. It's good. And I'm hoping maybe we can do a little recap podcast or something after your guys' Peru trip. So
oh yes, absolutely. Of course. How could I forget to even mention that? I am so looking forward to that trip, traveling to Peru with students. That's going to be fabulous.
Awesome. All right. Well, so this is going to conclude our special edition with our teacher spotlight. Again, this is Mr. Kirby, principal here at Sioux Valley, and I've got Jimmy as my co-host.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And once again, I really want to thank our special guest, Miss Franny Christensen. Really do appreciate the time you're taking to talk with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And I hope you enjoy this podcast as another way to connect with our Sioux Valley community. We hope to see you at the next school event or around the community. Thanks for listening.